All right. Oh, let me do my results first. So today is the 30th. Well, now it's the 1st of December, but the Week 9 FNM for the Guilds of Ravnica meta was on the 30th of November, and yeah, it was the Planeswalker deck challenge. Just a little personal thing that I like to do. The people at my local game store, they're starting to get to know me for playing, you know, these ridiculous jank decks. You know, people start recognizing, you know, when I was playing the Raw Caller of Storms deck, and now with this, now people are just like, oh, they just laugh when they see, you know, the Planeswalker deck, you know, Planeswalker. So it's just funny. It's a lot of fun. In round 3, I actually had the most fun I've had in a while. Yeah, and I'll get to that later. But yeah, so my only win was round 4, and the opponent just left before the match. I don't know why, but yeah, he just upped and left. Don't know what happened to him. But yeah, so before I actually, you know, I was doing some shuffling, you know, drawing out some test hands, and yeah, I decided to go with 2 Golgari Guild Gates and swapped out 1 Force and 1 Swamp just for a little bit of fixing, because I think I did like 10 or 15 hands, and you know, there were times where, as a matter of fact, there was another time where you know, I mulliganed. Yeah, mulligan down to 5, and I think like the first hand that I had 2 lands, but there were 2 forests, and I had like Seeker Squires and Midnight Reapers, and I was like, oh man, I gotta mulligan this. But anyways, so yeah, you know, it does need a little fixing, so I threw in 2 Golgari Guild Gates. I don't think it affected it that much, but yeah, overall, like, I'm really happy because the deck was a lot of fun with Charnel Trolls. And yeah, I think I definitely could have won round 2 and round 3, and I'll get into that later. You know, if, you know, card games they're card games, RNG is just inherently part of it. But, you know, if I just got a little bit luckier, I think we could have, you know, won round 2 and 3, but, you know, whatever. And, oh, I did actually use Vraska Stone Glare, and it was Stone Gaze, and it was actually really, really fun. And I used it against Aurelia in round 1, which was awesome. I actually think, you know, getting the 5 toughness, and then you can draw and tutor out your Vraska is actually pretty, you know, I was actually kind of happy with that. But actually, he, you know, it didn't really affect the match because he eventually won. He had some Swiftblade Vindicators, and I'll get into that. But yeah, anytime you bring out Charnel Troll, they're like, what is that? You know, they're like, they have to read the card, they're like, what the heck? You know, you're playing with Charnel Troll? And of course, you know, once you start playing, you know, once you cast Vraska Stone Glare, they got to read the card and be like, what? What is this? And it's just, it's always so much fun. So, yeah, I always declare welcome to the jank. That's kind of my go-to saying. And, you know, actually, there's a couple people who are starting to recognize me for playing the Planeswalker decks, because I had the Raw Caller of Storms, and, you know, there's a guy named Rick, and he was actually playing the Swamp, the Chromatic Lantern, the one with the Dark Master's Acquisition, and you could just like pull anything from your sideboard. Chromatic Control Black or something like, I don't know. It's like, there's like, he told me to go look at an article on Cool Stuff Inc. I think there's a guy, I think he made the Rainbow Lich deck, and then he made this deck. Some really interesting brews. And anyways, Rick, he was playing the new Chromatic Lantern, Chromatic Black, I think. And I actually saw that deck, I think, being played, or like a different version of it with Karns, with, you know, Liberty MTG on YouTube. I saw a guy playing that. Yeah, Rick actually brought that. And yeah, Rick is the one who, he loves that I'm bringing these Planeswalker decks. He always gets a chuckle out of it. So I actually didn't face him, but he was, you know, I sat next to him. And yeah, I like talking to Rick. Anyways, so yeah, round 1, yeah, Boros Mentor Aggro, just, you know, swept me out of the water. Yeah, game 1, yeah, the Swiftblade Vindicator just got out of control. I was, you know, I could have blocked it with my, I just had no good blocks, I think. Or maybe I was afraid or something. I don't know what I probably should have blocked it somehow earlier in the game, but I just couldn't, and I just let it by. And then eventually it just started getting out of control with all these mentors, and that was probably a bad decision early in the game. I just felt like, why would he attack into it if I could block? I think I had like a Seeker Squire, like a 2/3 Seeker Squire or something, and I just let it through, and I was afraid of like, I don't know what I was afraid of, I just let it through, but yeah, the Vindicator got out of control later in the game. But overall, I mean, the deck was just, really refined and well-tuned, and, game 2, I did have a Sport Glow Shaman early in the game, and it milled my own Golden Demise, which I really needed, and, I did cast a Charnel Troll, and he just Justice Striked it, so, it's just a good deck, so, I'm actually, I don't mind losing in round 1, because then, typically, in round 2 and later on, once you face other people who have also lost, because you're paired with other people who have similar records to you, you start facing different decks that are more, they're not top of the line tier. So in this case, it was Blue White Spirits. I actually really like this deck because it's a little bit different. He had I don't know if Admiral's Orders is the right card. I think it is though. It's the one. It's like Sinister Sabotage, but it's counter target spell. But I think there's like a raid part of it. I think I'm not 100% sure. But I remember it was the Pirate counter spell from Ixalan, I think. Anyways, he was using Siren Storm Tamer with a Departed deckhand, but the main core was a Spirit Tribal with Remorseful Cleric and Supreme Phantoms. And Remorseful Cleric, I was actually always terrified of that card just because it neutralizes my Charnel Troll. So, yeah, Charnel Courses. Oh, yeah, I saw the Johnny, but yeah, game 1, I remember he got the 3 Supreme Phantoms, and that was just really hard to deal with. Yeah, and yeah, as you can see here, the Siren Storm Tamer protected it. Really interesting deck, but game 2, I remember, yeah, he got his Shalai out, and that was a good time. So I don't think I used my Crawl Harpooners on that one. I think I used the Crawl Harpooners on like a Supreme Phantom, but I remember destroying Shalai. I think I used Statue on Shalai. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I did deadweight the Departed deckhand, but I do remember winning with the Charnel Trolls, and it was actually a lot of fun playing with Charnel Troll. Yeah, game 3, yeah, oh well. But as you can see here, like if maybe game 3 could have gone better if I didn't have to mulligan to 5. I'm not sure what my mulligan to 6 was. I do remember my mulligan to my first hand was I didn't have any. I had only Forest, and I didn't have any Swamps. I had like Seeker Squire and a Midnight Reaper. But yeah, I don't know if that was a good call to keep 2 Forest. And then I mulligan down to 6. It was just not a good hand, and yeah, had to mulligan down to 5. But yeah, get round 3, man. That was so much fun. Holy crap, man! I was just laughing so much when. Because he was completely bashing. He's like this kid from middle school. He's a young kid, and he was trash talking my Charnel Trolls, just jokingly. I was like, "Don't make fun of my Charnel Trolls," and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is my card that's better than Charnel Troll," and he was Izoni. That's what he was talking about. But yeah, his deck actually had Stitcher Suppliers and Underrealm Lich, and it was a more refined Golgari list, a little bit more expensive, a little bit more money poured into it, but still a great fun matchup. Game 1, Charnel Troll, yeah, I lost my first Charnel Troll, but my second one was just getting out of control. I think it got up to like 7-7, or maybe even 8-8. No, I think it was 7-7. I don't remember putting the dice up to 4 on that one. Yeah, it was definitely 7-7. Yeah, game 2, oh my god, yeah, this was an epic match. I mean, we were going back and forth. I brought him down to 3 HP. I had to use a Finality, because he Izoni'd like 13 insect tokens. I wasn't at 20. I was like, probably 15 or no, it was 14. I think I was at 14. So I had some time left, but he did have a flipped Journey to Eternity on the board, so I knew that my time was running out. But I had the Finality, and I cleared his board, and I only had a Golgari Finebroker, but Golgari Finebroker turned into a 5-6 with the 2 counters, and the -4/-4 killed everything on the board except for the Golgari Finebroker. But because of the -4/-4 effects, my Golgari Finebroker only did 1 damage, so I got him down to 2 HP. But yeah, he just came back. He journeyed to Eternity, another Izoni, and yeah, just getting that recursion over and over. And the top deck wars was just, yeah, that's how he won. And then game 4 we actually ran out of time because this game 2 was just so epic. It was like a 30 minute match. It was insane. But yeah, it was, you know, whatever. I mean, we were just laughing back and forth at, like, you know, the just kind of like, you know, jokingly trash talking each other about which Golgari deck is better. So haven't had that much fun in a long time. And you know, the young kid, it was just so much fun to trash talk him. You know, just obviously, you know, we were just joking around. But yeah, round 4. Yeah, just I don't want to say I got lucky because I don't. You know, with the Planeswalker deck challenge, I want to be done with it and, you know, get my 2-2 results, but I don't want to, you know, end on these, you know, because with the Raw Call of Storms, I technically went 2-2, but I got a first round bye, so that doesn't really count in my eyes. So I definitely want to keep on trying and try and go 2-2 and fulfill the challenge, just because, yeah, it's fun. So yeah, that's my result. And oh well, I'm not gonna go over the deck. You guys already seen it. Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's the Casual Cube, and I'm going to give you guys my FNM number 7, week number 7 of the Guilds of Ravnica meta. And I just uploaded the video onto YouTube. I had it uploading, I was like, you know, 5 minutes from 7 o'clock, and I just had to dip, and I let it finish uploading, and I just, you know, once I got back, I finished the upload. But yeah, here's the results. I went 3-1 with Mono White Historic Legends. Really love this deck because it's a unique blend of Jank and like these historic cards, which are artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. I'm not playing any sagas, but yeah. So going on into the deck notes. Overall, I'm really happy. Oh, and also, yeah, the Evra. It's like a 6-mana 4/4 lifelinker, and it has the ability where you can pay 4 and you can swap your life with Evra's power. I'm glad I didn't play that card because it only has 4 toughness for a 6-drop. And I had one in mind, like only one copy in mind in the deck, but I'm just glad I never even thought about, you know, actually taking it to an FNM because, you know, Lava Coils as well as just being a 6-mana for 4 toughness, it's like, it's really tough. So, and I feel like if I did play with Evra, I would have lost a lot more games because it would be stuck in my hand or it would just get easily removed. So, but in the initial drafts of the Mono White Historic deck, I was playing with one Evra. Anyways, so yeah, round 1 was Izzet's Drake's deck. Very, you know, basic Izzet Drakes. We've all seen it before. Game 1, yeah, just curved out really well. And yeah, he conceded pretty early in the game. Also, I think he might have had bad draws or something. I don't know, because I don't think I saw Drake. I think I only saw Electro matches in Game 1. Game 2, though, I went crazy with Danitha into the Traxos. My Traxos, you know, equipping it with the Black Blade just became ridiculous, and yeah, he had to concede after that one too because he had no way to remove my Traxos. Round 2 was Selesnya tokens. Oh man, Game 1 I won with yeah, the surprise Draxos into Urza's, and it's funny because, you know, I guess he's a veteran player, and he was like, "Oh, are you gonna Urza's me?" And yep, I Urza's the Urza's Rune's Blast for the win. But then Game 2 and Game 3. You know, Game 2, he was on the play, and he had, you know, just that advantage of starting first, and he just went insane on the board. I mean, just literally insane. Game 3 was a really close one. We were going at it. I think we both got down to below 10 HP, and he Conclave Tribunaled, yeah, my 2 legendaries that were on the field that I needed in order to cast Urza's Ruin's Blast, and yeah, I had it in hand, and I showed it to him, and yeah, it was one of those moments where you just gotta, you know, that's the way card games work. So, yeah, round 3 was Grixis Dredge. Man, this deck was sweet, man. I've never seen anything like this. This was, you know, I'm sure it wasn't original or anything. I mean, almost everything's a net deck nowadays, but, I mean, this thing was sweet. It was my first time ever seeing the deck. It was an Arc-like Phoenix into a Wand of Vertebrae, Drowned Secrets. He was self-milling himself, and yeah, it was just really fun to watch. But yeah, we're talking about some other cards that you can include. I included this whole deck list because, you know, maybe just in case, you know, I'm probably not going to build it in paper, but if I ever, you know, later on, if I go into, you know, MTG Arena, once I start playing MTG Arena, I think I'm going to play that because it just looks so much fun. But anyways, yeah, so Stitcher Suppliers, we're talking about that. You know, it's hard to squeeze it in, but Golgari player, he mentioned that, you know, next to us, and yeah, I think that's a great idea if he included Stitcher Suppliers. Game 1, though, just really good curve out. yeah, Danitha, Quende. Oh yeah, Quende, Danitha is just such a good combo. And the Black Blade Reforged, my Danitha was hitting for 14 damage because it was a double striker with the Black Blade. I think I had plugged him for 21 in that one swing. So, but you know, I was attacking him earlier in the game too, so you know he was well below 20. Game 2, yeah, I found a renewal, Adanta. Yeah, just you know a good early game start. Yeah, and I Urzed him. I don't think I got his Phoenixes out. But yeah, that was a good game as well. He sideboarded Ritual Suits and Fiery Cannonades. And the final round, man, this was another basic Izzet Drake's deck. I mean, we're seeing this, and as a matter of fact, you can see the meta. I actually went around after my first game 1 because I beat him really quickly, like within like maybe 5, 7, 10 minutes or something. Well, probably like 10 minutes. And yeah, I had a ton of time, and I was walking around and I was kind of keeping track of all the decks. So anyways, yeah, notable cards, yeah, so game 1, yeah, Urzed. Man, Urza is so good. Urza's Ruinous Blast. Game 2, yeah, I remember flooding out and had like 8 basic planes and all my good stuff. Like, he was removing everything. So, oh yeah, and he kept a Crackling Drake in hand because I think he was anticipating a board wipe, so I board wiped him with Citywide Bust. I think I killed maybe 1 or 2 Drakes, and then he had an extra Crackling Drake, and I just knew it was coming. He was swinging in for 9, had 1 more turn. I think I had a Danitha and an Onsar's Wings, and I had to chump block with that, which felt really bad. Yeah, but anyways, game 3 was an epic game as well. As going down to the end. I thought he was going to sideboard a counterspell, so I had my Urzas in hand, and I was holding it. Yeah, and yeah, it was one of those things where I wasn't sure if I should play it, and I played it, and yeah, it was game over after that. But yeah, early in the game, I was establishing my board with a Danto, Black Blade. Yeah, Citywide busted one of his Drakes, only one. I went 1 for 1 with it. Yeah, it was a great game though, because I wasn't sure if he had the counterspell, so I just, yeah, played Urzas with Traxos on board, winning for the win. So yeah, anyways, my week 7 meta, this is what I came, what I tracked after playing that one first round and looking at all the different tables. So yeah, there's 2 mono blue decks, 2 Selesnya tokens, 1 Abzan Knights, 1 mono black control, 1 mono red aggro, 3 Izzet Drake decks, 1 Grixis Dredge, which I played, 1 Esper Control with Teferi, which I thought was pretty sweet, and then that one player who was playing the Unfamished Paladin plus Sorcerer's Wand Jank combo, the Infinite combo, which I think is great. He's still playing it. He plays other decks. He's a kid. He plays other decks, but I'm just so glad that he's still playing that deck because it's so awesome. There's a Sultai Thief of Insanity deck going around, which I thought was pretty sweet, and then there's 2 Boros Angels and Knights guys that... Unfortunately, there was that one Boros Angels and Knights that the previous 2 weeks I was anticipating him to be there, but he wasn't there, but you know, whatever. And then there's 3 Golgari decks of various types, because I saw one with like Demonic Catastrophes, I saw another one with Izoni, and I saw one with, you know, more Planeswalkers, which I thought was the more expensive. They poured in more money into that one. So yeah, that was my meta, that was my FNM notes for week number 7, and I'm really happy with this White Historic Legends deck because it was like a sub $30 deck, and we went 3-1. So yeah, that's my FNM week number 7. Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's the Casual Cube for week number 6 for Friday Night Magic. It's the 9th of November for the Guilds of Ravnica meta, and I went 50-50 with the Firesong and Sunspeaker deck. I definitely got a great feel of the deck, and you know, I might, you know, just invest in the dual lands, like the Sacred Foundries and the Clifftop Retreats, to make this my main deck. I'm still not 100% sure. I'm like 75% because there's some other decks that I kind of want to like sample. Some monocolored decks, for example. You know, I might go back to the mono black, but you know, the lands for that are relatively cheap, so this might be my dual-colored main deck. But yeah, let's get into the results. As far as notes, Cleansing Novas right now are about $5, and I think Deafening Clarions are about $2 to $3, so I actually didn't invest. Those 2 cards were put on the back burner along with the Clifftop Retreats and the Sacred Foundries, simply because I didn't know if I wanted to 100% you know, buy into the deck. But you know, after playing with it, it's so much fun that I actually might. But at the same time, like, yeah, the price of those cards are a little bit more expensive, and I know I've spent like $65 on the Firesong and Sunspeaker, I guess if you want to say sample deck, but at the same time, like, a lot of those cards I'll be using in like a mono white control possibly kind of deck, or just straight up, you know, use them in a mono red deck. I'm thinking of making a mono red control deck. That's kind of just it's just kind of a theory right now, but that's also kind of the reason why I decided to, you know, actually spend money on this deck, because I can split it up into those two colors. But anyways, yeah, so I might just, along with the dual lands, the expensive dual lands, buy into the deck and just make it my main deck, because that's how much I enjoyed playing with it today. But yeah, so the fiery cannonades, I just need to put those in the sideboard. I'm just so dumb because, again, History of Benalia owned me. Well, that was in round 3. I'll show you my results, but yeah, I'm so dumb. But anyways, yeah, the Fall of the Thran, it's so gimmicky that I didn't actually go against a control deck, so I didn't get to feel the power of it. But every time I look at it, I'm just like, is this even going to be viable against control? So it's probably just better to, use a Danta Vanguard as well as maybe a Legion Warboss from the sideboard against control. So, and also I'm thinking of, just main decking Lightning Strikes and sideboarding the Lava Coils. The Lava Coils are nice, but the sorcery speed does matter a lot of the times. And the Lightning Strikes, you can direct it towards a Planeswalker. It's just, that's probably what I need to do. And even main deck Seal Away, and also the Justice Strikes. I can see why Legend VD, he really enjoyed playing with the Justice Strikes, because, Lyra Dawnbringer and, just so many applications for Justice Strike. It got used against me, and I was just like, oh man, I need to be playing with this card. So, but anyways, yeah, let's go into round 1. So round 1 was Mono Blue Tempo. Had a really great game against the first game because I got 2 fountains out, and I got my Primate, Johnny's Primate, to 12-12. And it forced him to start chump blocking with all these lower, cost creatures. He Merfolk Trickstered it twice, I believe, so it stalled the game out, but it was kind of inevitable that, that Johnny's Primate was going to start taking over the game real quick. And I think every time he played his Tempest Djinn, I had an answer for it. Had some removal if he countered it, but I had more removal. So, and then game 3 was, I had 3 fountains out, and I got the Firesong out there, and then I started clearing his board with my interventions using the combo. So that was really gratifying, really, really fun, because he didn't have counter spells for that at that point in the game. But yeah, moving on into round 2. Now, the Mono Blue, I've gotten really lucky against Mono Blue, but it's a really good deck, so I think it's kind of abnormal to go on this hot of a streak against Mono Blue, because I don't think I lost to Mono Blue yet. Yeah, I don't think I have. I think I faced it 3 times total in this meta, and I've had a good time. The other time was with my Mono Black deck, and I forgot when the other time was Mono Blue. But yeah, anyways. Going into round 2, was Abzan Knights. I really like this list because it was Knight of Grace, Knight of Malice, the Conclave Cavalier, and he also had a Demon of Catastrophes, which was just kind of a loop that I wasn't expecting, but actually in game 1, how did I... Oh, I had to use 2 spells for it. So yeah, but that, maybe the Demon of Catastrophes wasn't good in that kind of deck, but everything else was freaking awesome, like Cast Down, Assassin's Trophy, just a really interesting list. And yeah, game 1, yeah, I started creating 4/4 angel tokens. Game 2, it just went to time because I was, draining the game out with my Fountain of Renewals, and yeah, I had this one instance where, I sideboarded a city-wide bust and, killed my own Firesong, but also killed his Demon of Catastrophes, and yeah, we're both top decking eventually. But yeah, it went to turn 0, went to time, and yeah, that was it. Round 3, oh, the same guy, man, Mike. He has Boros, Knights, and Angels, and this time he went with Shalai instead of the Aurelia. Actually, he might have Aurelia on the sideboard, but he was, both game 1 and game 2, he had the Shalai out. And man, I mean, the Angels are just, not only are they cool, but they're just really good. And of course, he had to curve out with Knight of Grace and History of Benalia again. But yeah, oh yeah, man, game 1 was amazing because I almost pulled off the Star of Extinction Truefire combo. Yeah, almost pulled it off. I had to block, you know, I blocked the Adanto and I blocked a 2/2, I think. I couldn't block the Resplendent, but, you know, he had enough mana to pump up the Resplendent Angel anyways for lethal, so I was like, whatever. Game 2, oh man, Game 2 was amazing too, because I was really starting to dominate that game with my Ajani Primate. I think I got him down to like 8 or 9 or 7 or something. I forgot what I got him down to, but I was really clobbering him with his ginormous Ajani Primate. But yeah, so he got his Lyra Dawnbringer on board, and he top decked a Ixalan's Binding. And oh my goodness, that was it, because I only had 3 lands and I had a fire. Yeah. So it was kind of a sticky hand, and I just knew that since Ajani Primate was my only presence on the board, that it was game over, because he was going to stabilize with Lyra. Yeah, I felt it coming that it was game over, so I just decided to scoop. Round 4 was, so this one was, you know, I was 2-1 at the time, so I had 6 points, and my opponent had 9 points. So this is another pair up that happened to me. The other time it happened was when I was playing mono red, or wait, when? I don't remember, but I remember I got, you know, I had 2 wins and I got paired up with someone who was 3-0. But this is the second time it's happened to me, and, you know, it's just the luck of the draw. But in this case, his name was Brandon, and he's an awesome dude. I mean, he was really, really cool. But as you can see here, this was his first time ever going for an O, which, you know, I was actually authentically happy for him after he said, "Oh, this is the first time I've ever gone 4-0." You can see his face like light up. It was amazing. But yeah, he had Aurelia, and after, you know, he beat me down, we were talking about, you know, I just previously played this other Boros Angels and Knights deck, and he was playing a budget deck, and he didn't want to spend the $20 on History of Benalia's. So what he did was he just decided to go with the Fanatical Firebrand, the Legion Warboss, and Aurelia's, and some removal as well as heroic reinforcements, which he did kill me with on Game 2. So it was kind of like a budget Boros aggro, but it's still at Aurelia's. So you know, it was kind of like a mid-tier, mid-budget level, $50 to $100 maybe. But, you know, it was very, very efficient. It really, like, these kind of Boros early game decks, when they curve out 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana, it's just, when you go 1-for-1, eventually they're going to outclass you with, you know, in this case, like the History of Benalia, I had to deal with the 2 tokens, and, you know, it's like they're constantly getting card advantage. In this case, he was using Legion Warbosses as well as the heroic reinforcements to get the card advantage. So, yeah, and also really is just hard to deal with. So, yeah, but I was really happy for him, and yeah, just a cool dude. I've seen him play before, but that was my first time playing against him. He kind of has like a, well, never mind, I'm just not even to talk about his characteristics, but yeah, I'm just really happy for him, and I really don't mind going 2-2, even though I got paired up against him, and he was 3-0 at the time. I'm just really happy for him, because the way his face lit up was kind of amazing. It was like, you know, like a surprise birthday party or something. That was crazy. So, yeah, that was my result, even though I went, oh, whoops, well, that's just an email. Even though I went only 2-2, yeah, I'm actually really satisfied with the results. I got a really great taste of Firesong and Sunspeaker. I almost pulled off the Star of Extinction combo, only running 3 True Fire Captains in, where was it, against, oh yeah, round 3. I almost pulled it off in Game 1, round 3, but, yeah, just slipped away by 1 turn. But, you know, that's the luck of the draw. But yeah, had a lot of fun with the deck. And I'm like 75% sure that this is my main deck for dual colored. I think I want to make my main deck a monocolored deck. But yeah, still got some decisions to make. But that is my FNM result for week number 6. Alright, so this is FNM number 5, week number 5 of the Guilds of Ravnica meta for the 2nd of November. So this was with the Planeswalker deck. We replaced 80% of it, but we got the first round bye, which was kind of unlucky, because it kind of invalidates the whole thing, but that's okay. We'll just try it again another time. So yeah, some deck notes. Yeah, definitely got to fix the mana, but that's just part of the challenge. I mean, we're dealing with a really poor mana base with dual colored, enter the battlefield tapped lands, so what can you do? I'm actually thinking of doing the Flame of Keld. That's actually something that I kind of revised with the list already. So already include some Flame of Kelds in here. But the Raw's Dispersals, man, yeah, we gotta put them in the sideboard. So even though that it's technically part of the deck. I mean, I think it's just better if we put it in the sideboard, save it against matchups where we know we're going against like something like a Delilah Dawnbringer or like a Doom Whisper, and we can bounce it, and then on top of that we can have Essence Scatters or, you know, Wizard Retort to counter the spells. But otherwise, against game one, against a lot of the aggro matchups, I just don't think it's a good card. So yeah. But then again, like, I mean, Raw Caller of Storms isn't a good card either, so that's just part of the challenge though. But definitely Budget Drakes is probably the best way to build this budget deck. But yeah, round 2 was the first legitimate matchup. Got our butts whooped against Boros Angels and Knights. Yeah, History of Benalia. I mean, just that curve of Knight of Grace, History of Benalia. Yeah, even removal. I mean, just too much going on. And then they curve out with Aurelia and Lyra. So what can you do? But round 3, blue-white Jank against a relatively brand new player. Yeah, it was just maybe some, like, he had a Seal Away and like maybe like a Sinister Sabotage, but it was really just it wasn't a consistent deck. But yeah, round 4 was Jeskai Control. This is the same player from week 1, so there's mainly 2 Jeskai Control players at my FNM. But yeah, the main change was the Rekindling Phoenixes, so he added that. That's what we were talking about. Oh yeah, and also he had an Expanse Explosion. I didn't write that down here, but that's actually how he killed me. He saved his last 2 copies of Expanse Explosion, dealt like 7 damage over, well, 7 damage each of them, but, you know, 14 damage over 2 turns. That's how he finished me off. But yeah, he had like 1 or 2 cards left in his deck after that, because he was like, he had like, you know, he was dealing 7 damage, drawing 7 cards with that card, so that was pretty crazy. But yeah, that's my results. So yeah, it's gonna have to try again, so we can actually legitimately try and get a 2-2.